Tiger Woods' return to the sport might not have been what everyone was anticipating, but one thing is for sure, the champ isn't going down without a fight. Just recently, he lost a match to Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth, but he didn't let this loss put a damper on his spirits. In fact, he immediately challenged them to a rematch. Stay tuned as we talk about the latest Tiger Woods updates in today's video.
That's my partner.
There we go. Thank you, sir. I would have gotten that for you.
First up, here's what happened. So the American Ryder Cup duo didn't hold anything back when going against the two biggest names in golf, Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy, at a Hurricane Ian relief benefit. But like any big-time champ used to dominating the scene, Tiger Woods did not take this defeat lightly. Instead, he took to Twitter and wrote that McIlroy and he will get Thomas and Spieth next time. Moving on, here's a closer look at the match. What went down at Florida's Pelican Golf Club shocked many. With their 7 birdies in the 12-hole contest, the American duo easily claimed the bragging rights after defeating Woods and McIlroy 3-2, and from the looks of it, a lot of people tuned in to watch the showdown. That's right, it appears that the 7th edition of the match was so interesting that it compelled none other than Phil Mickelson to break his online silence and wish good luck to the players and also state that he'd be keeping up through TNT. Now we're just throwing this question out there. Do you think the results made him happy? Considering the fact that Lefty was the biggest supporter of the LIV League, while McIlroy and Woods managed to solidify their reputation as the loudest voices against the Saudi-backed league, it's interesting to note, though, that his association with LIV is basically the reason why he's not allowed to participate in the match anymore. Anyway, next up, Woods wasn't ready. So we all know that the all-time golf champ Tiger Woods has been facing some troubles recently regarding his injuries. Well, that might have played a pretty huge role in his performance during the match. He confessed that he hadn't after he developed plantar fasciitis. He hadn't been able to hit a golf ball for 2 weeks, and this was also the reason why he ended up dropping out of the Hero World Challenge in the Bahamas. The players were also using carts for transportation, which is yet another hint that Woods' injuries were flaring up. We say this because it's a universally known fact that Woods doesn't like to travel around a course in carts, but everyone's worst fears were confirmed when they noticed his pretty obvious limp. What's more is that he was even using a golf club as a cane for support during the pre-tournament press conference. Yikes. Next up, the duo gave Woods a tough competition. Now, it might seem like these injuries are slowly but surely taking over Woods' ability to play, but let's assure you that it's not exactly like that. In fact, from the looks of it, the man still has some golf left in him. He made a birdie at the very first hole, which ended up having everyone's hope in him renewed. But hey, the rival duo meant serious business. That's right, after this shot, Thomas drained a mega birdie putt at the second hole, and Spieth, on hole number 3, also made a pretty amazing shot. This was enough to give the Ryder Cup duo a good enough start and a strong lead. Shockingly, the other iconic duo seemed to be having a day off since they only managed to win 1 hole during the contest. Yup, that's right, the two were finally able to roll in a birdie putt from 20 feet on hole 7. But Spieth and Thomas wasted no time in overcoming this minor setback, and finally they managed to grab the win on the 10th hole. Now let's see how the players reacted. Of course, Spieth and Thomas were ecstatic about their win over the greatest duo in golf, but that in no way stopped them from trolling their rivals. The official Twitter account of the PGA Tour posted a video of the players who had huge smiles plastered on their faces. The two spoke in perfect unison and in a very rehearsed manner and fake concerned expressions on their face when they teased their rivals. They said, "Tiger and Rory, what happened?" And that's not all. They even asked them how the two managed to lose to them, which was then followed by a witty, "It's all right, everyone does."
Tiger and Rory, what happened? How do you lose to us too? It's all right. Everybody does.
Well, it seems like McIlroy and Woods really need to keep their performance in check, because it seems like these two might just be the next iconic duo, ready to dethrone them. Woods, however, was later recorded saying that he took this opportunity to grow in a different way, and that this was something never done before in the sport. Next up, here's a closer look at Woods' warning. When talking about the match later in a tweet, Woods commented that it had been a very fun night and that he was lucky to have Rory McIlroy as his teammate. Okay, before we get into the details of the warning, let's just tell you that McIlroy, being a good teammate, was not the popular opinion following this match. In fact, many thought that he didn't really bring his best self to the course. Anyway, coming back to the warning, Woods clarified that he wasn't going to go down easily. He concluded his tweet by saying, "Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth will get you boys next time." Now, even though the rematch hasn't been confirmed yet, we're pretty sure that the entire world of golf is already eagerly awaiting for it. But of course, Woods has a lot of things on his schedule already, so he might have to wait for a bit. You see, he's set to appear in the PNC Championship, where he's set to team up with none other than his son, Charlie Woods. Now, who wouldn't like to see that? That's all we have on Tiger Woods' warning to Thomas and Spieth. Next up, here's what an old-time rival of Woods has to say about his career. Colin Montgomery has quite the opinions when it comes to Tiger Woods, and he's more than happy to share them with the entire world. In the Bunkered podcast, he stated his opinion pretty unapologetically, saying that the 46-year-old all-time champ should have put a stop to his career when he first missed the Open Championship cut at St. Andrews earlier this year. Here's what he said in the podcast. When talking about Woods' career, Montgomery referred to the Open Championship and said that was the time. Apparently, that was the first hint that Woods won't be able to further his legacy and achieve greater accomplishments. Moving on, why is it Woods' time? Montgomery is pretty certain that we won't be seeing Woods win another PGA Tour event, which is actually quite different from what Woods had to say about his career. The all-time greatest said that he still wants to squeeze a championship win or two out of himself before retiring, so maybe the Scot might have to wait a bit before Woods finally hangs his club. But the thing is that Montgomery wants him to bow out while he's still on top. He questioned that there was no reason for Woods to go on and that retiring while he still was the greatest was something very few can do. Now, if you take a look at his recent performances, it's pretty clear that the man can hardly keep it together anymore. Or maybe he just needs a good long vacation to overcome his injuries before stepping on the course again. Now, here's a look at Tiger Woods' current state as a pro golfer. So the man had a bunch of years of good golf in him, but unfortunately, he was involved in a car accident in February 2012. This ended up majorly altering his career, and there's a possibility that it might just bring it to a much earlier stop than anticipated. He ended up injuring his right leg in the accident pretty badly, and he still hasn't been able to make full recovery. As we mentioned earlier, he ended up having to withdraw from the Hero World Challenge because of problems with his right foot, and now while he's going to compete in the PNC Championship with his son, it's speculated that he's going to have to use the cart throughout. Coming up next, what does Woods have to say about his condition? Woods, on different occasions, has talked about how his surgically repaired leg and bad back have caused him quite the trouble over the years. He recently stated that it's because of them he won't be able to play a full schedule again. So apparently he's changed his goals accordingly. He's currently just focusing on the majors, and maybe he'll look into some of the big tournaments. From the looks of it, he's aiming to break the long-time tie he has with Sam Snead for most tour career wins record. But of course, this is not going to come easily. Lastly, will Woods be able to break the record? Montgomery thinks he won't be able to do that at all. Now, he agrees that Tiger Woods is one of the greatest of all time, but the Scot also has some pretty valid points. He mentioned that in order to finally break that record, the player won't only have to go back to performing the way he was before his injuries. He mentioned that that train had long left the station. Instead, Woods must be better than ever. Montgomery thinks this is important since the standards in pro golf continue to improve, and in the current landscape of the sport, there are several players who'd be able to beat him easily, especially considering that Woods is 46 years old and already suffering some pretty big injuries. Now, that sort of makes sense, doesn't it? Of course, Montgomery doesn't want to see Woods lose. In fact, he even clarified that he would love to see him break the record, as it would be amazing for the game. But after all, the chances of that happening were very slim. That's a wrap for this video, folks. Do you think Woods and McIlroy will be able to defeat the American duo in a rematch? Should Woods say goodbye to the sport now? Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more awesome videos like this. Please share this channel with your family and with your friends. Thank you so much for watching today, and we will see you in the next one with the latest updates.